Best of r/ Tales from Tech Support episode 70. Subscribe for Reddit videos daily. Greetings, and welcome back to another tale of tech failure support. Sit back, relax, pick up some questionable life insurance from Bub's concession stand, Google it, and please do the needful. To set the background, $me works as an L2 tech, which is to say the end of the line. My team gets tickets for $org that were not able to be resolved by the help desk. If we aren't able to resolve the issue, then we will generally engage the engineers at the relevant vendor. Or we tell the $user they are out of luck. We handle everything from diagnostics to AD administrative tasks. The way our system works is that tickets get assigned to our queue, and we have dispatchers who assign tickets to individual technicians on our team. Let's set the stage. $me, the protagonist of this story, runs on coffee and lowbrow brand beer. He also has a cape that flutters in the breeze of a Hero Wind branded fan. $user, fateful ticket generator. The source of the story. $L1, level 1 help desk. $TM, technical manager, our resident IT doctor, house who makes final decisions on process. My office is right next to the area the L1 phone jockeys are in, and I'm the unofficial L2 point of contact for the help desk. If they need help with a ticket and it's quicker for them to ask me as opposed to just following the escalation process, I will generally jump in and help out with their callers. Before I begin, I should explain that we basically have two types of AD accounts. The first kind is the standard user account that most employees have. They get a generic set of access to various applications, and any additional access they need requires them to submit a request to be added to a security group in AD. The second type is a special kind of account that has certain privileges that are usually reserved for special use cases. These accounts have unrestricted web access, and that's where this story begins. $L1 gets a call from a user. $L1, thank you for calling company help desk. How may I assist you? Goes through the usual opening questions, NTID, etc. $user, I need unrestricted web access. I am completely unable to do my work. $L1, do you have a special account? $user, I don't know what that is. I just need unrestricted web access. Can you give it to me or not? $L1, unfortunately I cannot directly. You will need to go to link and submit an access request. It will need to be approved by your manager. $user, this is ridiculous. Just give me the access I asked for. Are you people stupid or something? Get me someone who knows what they are doing. I don't have time for this. $L1, please hold. The $L1 agent comes over to my office. I should note here that while I technically do have the access and ability to create these AD accounts and / or assign the necessary permissions, it is not the norm for me to do so unless it's for diagnostic purposes. We have a separate team that handles these requests. I check with $TM who says, $TM, find out what websites they specifically need access to. We can add temporary access to those sites if need be until the request goes through. I inform $L1 of this. They come back and say $user won't tell them due to data sensitivity. Yada, yada. $TM, $me, go check their web filter logs and see what websites are so important that they can't tell us what they are. I dutifully go check their web filter logs, and oh boy, nothing prepared me for what I was about to see. Endless amounts of requests to some very shady NSFW websites being blocked by our web filter. I let $TM know. $TM, that's what I figured. Go ahead and have $L1 submit a ticket for the user. Send those logs to their manager to let them know about all the important websites $user needs access to. $me, okay, you're the boss. I hope this doesn't go sideways. I took over the call and advised $user that we understand how important this issue is. I let him know that we could forego the usual process, and I'd pull the site list from the web filter and email his supervisor personally so we could get a temporary exemption until the process went through. $user, $me, is there anything else we can help you with? $user, no. $me, fantastic. Have a great day. I grabbed the logs, and sent an email over to $user supervisor CCing $TM with an email along the lines of $user says they are currently unable to do their work due to web filter restrictions. We can provide temporary access until they have the special account. We just need your approval. Here is the list of websites they need to access. Stay tuned for part 2. Part 2 is up and you can read it here. Thank you. Next. Hey all. Disclaimer. No fancy IT techy stuff in this story, just gov shenanigans. Background: electrician here working with a commercial/industrial company that is mainly contracted to govt, rural Australia. We cover a sizable area and deal with all the different agencies. Been here about 15 years, but over the past 8 years have grown and managed the tech side to now have me and 5 techs. Fire, security, CCTV, door access, cabling, installs, servicing, and pretty much anything that needs to talk to something else. Small town, we're pretty much the only ones who cover this range of services, so we get around and know everyone. A lot of the gear we install and service is networked, so we work closely with the different govt IT departments. Actors me, contractor $Spock, site point of contact for the law enforcement site, admin and site maintenance coord, $Lehit, statewide head of IT for law enforcement. They were new at the time. There is a different person in this role now, so I think I'm okay posting $Lockit, local head of IT, the office that does sysadmin and on-site tech support for all the different agencies, except help desk. Known him for years. $Locksize admin, local gov sysadmin, also friend, $LockTech, local gov tech, good guy, $LEOIC, officer in charge of the law enforcement site, high rank, nice guy, known him for a few years. Story: government work as a contractor can be difficult at times. Different agencies and departments, local, state, federal, commonwealth, overlap in their scope, so apart from working to various industry codes, you have the interagency/department and political minefields as well. Got a call one day after lunch from my office just saying urgent job. There's a problem with the data outlets you put in at law enforcement site. 2 months prior, I'd done a handover of our part of a renovation at this site. Power and data for a new multi-purpose room. Its primary function was as a regional emergency response/coordination center, so it had all the bells and whistles. Arrive at site, grab testing gear, sign in, sign out a site access card, head up to $Spock office to see what's going on. $me, hey $Spock, what's this about my data outlets? $Spock, none of the PCS can access the network and there's a group using the room in an hour. $me, all 12 PCS? Anything else in the room not working? $Spock, I called law enforcement IT help desk, they said they could see the switches and everything else is okay, just not the PCS. They said it was a cabling issue, so I called your office. $me, weird, but there's been weirder. Okay, I'll check it out and report back. Head down to the room, see the PCS are indeed on, lift the lid on the first of 6 floor boxes we put in, 2 data outlets each for the 12 PCS plus power outlets. See the 2 PCS using this box are unplugged from the data outlets. Lift the lid of the next to see the same. All 12 have been unplugged. That's strange. Head to the server room and see. Sweet Mary Brown. Someone has finally been in to tidy up the racks, with color coding for different services. When I was there 2 months ago, the racks looked like they'd been collateral damage of a cable factory explosion. Look at the patch panel and switch where the patch leads for my outlets should be to find just holes. Look around the room to see boxes of new patch leads. Okay, easy fix then, but there are obvious questions before I just start plugging in. Call my friend at local IT on his personal mobile, because I know he hates it. $Locksize admin, what did you do? I accidentally shut something off 2 years ago. He won't let me forget. $me, nothing yet, but if you like I can start randomly turning power off. Hey, are you guys involved in the server room tidy up at law enforcement site? $Locksize admin, yeah, the new $Lehit must have weird fetish for tidy server rooms and asked us to do it. We have $LockTech doing that. Why? $me, I'm on site because law enforcement IT have impugned my cabling and terminations for the PCS in the new fancy room, but all I'm seeing here are holes. Holes in the room outlets, holes in the patch panel and holes in the switches. I mean, I'm just a Sparky, but aren't these computers supposed to be, you know, plugged into stuff? $lock size admin, we had to send $lock tech to reboot the thing at one of the schools. He should be back in a bit. Wait, what do you mean holes in the room outlets? $me. All the PCS are unplugged from the data outlets. I know $lock tech wouldn't have needed to do it, so I'm going with my usual answer for weird shit, cryptids. Hey, they want to use this room pretty soon, so I may as well put the patch leads in. Can you check what color they're supposed to be and if the ports have been changed from what they were? $lock size admin says here red, and no changes to the ports. Reads off ports. $me. Thank you, wizard man. Go and plug in the PCS. Put the patch leads in. Start seeing all the pretty lights. Call $lock size admin. $lock size admin. I can see them. What would we do without you? Why are you even there? The site knew we were doing work on the racks and law enforcement IT gave us a job. $Spock should have just gone and seen $lock tech. $me. You've been here too long to ask silly questions like that. Hang on. $Spock is walking toward me, holding a phone, looking concerned. Don't hang up. He hung up. This is where it gets all government. Why? $me. Hey $Spock, your PCS are back up. $Spock, holding phone out to me. I know. Thank you. I have $Lehet on the phone. They want to speak with you. Polite introductions. During this I'm wondering why the statewide head of law enforcement IT is wanting to speak with the contractor. Also, that was pretty fast for $Spock to know. Also, $Lehet or their team must have been monitoring those ports to know the same time $lock size admin did. Also, what have I walked into? $Lehet, so I can see the PCS are back. May I ask what the issue was? Said very pleasantly. I'm now fully alert. $me. Someone had unplugged the PCS at the floor box outlets. $Lehet. I see. Where are you at the moment? This is where I say the stupid thing. $me. In the server room checking the traffic lights on the switch. $Lehet. I see. Was there anyone from local IT or local law enforcement there with you? $me. No, just me and the racks. They're looking very nice now, by the way. $Lehet. Thank you for your help today. Could you please wait outside the server room and pass me back to $Spock, please? $Spock. Speaking to $Lehet. Yes. No. Yes. He always has in the past. No. Okay. $Spock. After hanging up, I've been asked for us both to wait here. Closes server room door. 15 minutes later the $LEOIC is there, in person. During this time $lock tech is back and at work. $LEOIC. Serious face and no handshake. $me. What did you do? I've had calls from $Lehet and his boss, the head of law enforcement for the state. $Lehet has issued an alert of potential network security breach. $me. All I did was look at the lights on a network switch to see if the PCS were okay. $LEOIC. Smiling now. Relax, it's okay. I think the new $Lehet is making an example out of you about our local procedures. It does mean you can't just go in there by yourself from now on. Thanks for getting the PCS back up. See the shift sergeant to give a statement before you go, please. $Spock. You're with me. $me. Relieved there may only now be a small bit of paperwork. Okay, thanks. Give statement. Sign out. Sign an access card. Head to car. Light a smoke. Text message from $lock size admin. You out yet? Text back. Yeah. Get a call from $lock hit. $lock hit. I can tell I'm on speaker. Hey $me. First, thanks for not bringing $lock tech into this. Second, $Lehet has their team checking the networks for your nefarious activity. And finally, audio from a what can only be a submarine movie, sirens and someone yelling breach breach, with $lock hit and $lock size admin laughing in the background. $me, laughing, dickheads. I hang up. No one has asked about the cryptids. TL. Doctor, if you give me a key to your server room, don't act all surprised when I go in there. NB. I found out later how/why the PCS got unplugged. One of the staff wanted to hide from a co-worker to write a report in peace. When the PCS couldn't access the network, they pulled out their work laptop and tried it in each floor outlet. Thank you. Next. I remembered another incident at work that was some time ago, about a printer, the question who would replace it, and the ping pong between the various departments because no one wanted to be responsible and no one was informed of changes. Alternative working title, Why Information is Key and quoting emails at people makes them nervous. $me of course. $user, the user that calls with an issue. $the printer, it deserves its own mention here. Not for the error it causes, or its fault, but for how much traffic it created. Department number 1, a specialized IT group/departments in the company, used to deal with defective printers. Department number 2, a specialized IT group/departments in the company, now deals with defective printers. Much to their surprise. Dispatcher, someone who should know which departments are responsible for the various tasks, but doesn't, and seems wholly overworked and underqualified with the job. As many big companies do, is there a huge storage of printers somewhere and when one of them doesn't work as intended anymore it just gets replaced and the old one gets troubleshooted, if at all, or just straight out trashed and sent back. Whatever is cheaper and easier. English is not my first language, yada yada, not on mobile. Also, why do all of my stories become so long? Thank you. Next. I'm not by any means a technician, nor have any part in the PC system. I'm just a 30-year-old guy who has had a PC for most of his life, and make pizzas. But today my friends I felt your pain. So, this happened yesterday, Saturday evening. We work in a family-owned restaurant, and I'm on the pizza side of the business in front of the cashier. I noticed we started having troubles half through the service. Orders were slow but didn't know any better. After couple hours I had a time break, and while cleaning I overhear my boss ranting. So I asked and he started complaining that the main PC screen, a touchscreen monitor where we send orders from, was half. What? I peeked from behind and noticed the aspect ratio was 4:3 instead the usual widescreen 16:9. I was just about to touch the monitor panel to set that back to normal. He grabbed my hand, blocked me and started mentioning my every single thing that happened up until that moment. Me. Well just let me talk. Boss, no, you don't understand. I touched the program, and it closed. So I touched the menu bar and it opened the Google, so I turned all off, unplugged every cable. Now it is still like this in the phone support will answer in 2 hours etc. 11 minutes of this. Me. Well touchscreen commands won't work as you think because the aspect ratio of the image isn't now the same as the touchscreen area. It's not like your smartphone. Boss, no you don't understand. My daughters also tried it all. We clicked the Control-Alt-Canc and it opened but it is still like that. So I had to use the wireless keyboard and the trackpad to close the orders and use the smartphones. 6 minutes of this. For real, I was watching the PC clock. Me. Yeah well. Your daughters really suck at this. Cool environment in this way. If you just let me. Boss, no you don't understand. Me. Just FCK back to the side. I pushed his chair back. Bolt in front. Press the 2 stupid touch sensitive buttons on the screen for the menu while he's screaming. I already did IT. IT doesn't click anything. Screaming like an innocent convicted dragged into prison for life. I proceeded to stick using the display buttons to navigate the monitor menu instead of pretending to click it with the mouse like they all tried to do, and it goes back to normal as our Lord and Savior the spaghetti monster always wanted. It was tough, I pushed through, and came out broken inside, remembering all the times stuff like this happened even here and knew it won't ever stop. Thank you. Next. Recently, I and a few of my colleagues worked on scripting, testing, rolling out, and training our department on a new phone system. The testing schedule was a bit cramped and gigantic red flags or straight up broken systems were rammed through. The usual characters in these capers are $B, $me, a sentient barnacle. $WD, work dad, one of our most senior members, solid dude, wanted on every project for being well informed, resourceful, and level-headed. $dev, an abrasive, hard-working, and often mistaken dev who supports our endeavors. This particular day, we had encountered a number of odd issues that excluded entire portions of our intended routing, or resulted in significant failures that dumped callers into an infinite loop of hold music with no further options. We created tickets to our $dev for each unexpected behavior. $B, okay, let's test our IVR options, messaging, and on-call system for after hours. $WD, sure thing. You're assigned as the on-call agent, I'll call in as the customer. $IVR playing on WD's phone. Thank you for calling $Health Corp. Our offices are currently closed. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, please hang up and dial 911. If you would like to speak with an on-call technician, please press 1. $WD presses 1. Horrible royalty-free hold music for 45 seconds. $IVR. Goodbye. $WD and I stare at each other. My eyebrow quirks. He shrugs. Our phones are sitting on the conference room table, untouched. My phone starts ringing. The number shows the outbound test phone number. I tentatively pick up and immediately switch to speaker. $IVR. This is an emergency. After has call from $Health Corp. Press 1 to accept. I figure I might as well make the best of it, and press 9 to make sure our invalid response prompts work. $IVR. Goodbye. $B. Well, that's wrong. A. There's nobody calling anymore, so why did I get a call? B. Why does the system keep hanging up on us? We try it all again just to make sure the behavior can be replicated and to run a trace of the phone traffic, but instead we have a surprise cameo from a rising star. I dial out. Almost immediately, we get a response. $Indian dude. Hello, who is this? $WD. Who are you and what are you doing in our VoIP sandbox? $Cyanide. My name is, oh my god, that's a lot of syllables. Who are you? $WD. I am one of only 4 people who are supposed to be working on our telecom test environment. So bud, what are you doing in our sandbox? $Cyanide. I'm testing $proprietary tool. Proprietary tool is not supposed to enter testing until we are done with our work and the rollout is done, aka 3+ weeks. Turns out this dude was actively turning on and off features in our testing environment when he wasn't even scheduled to be in there, effectively causing all the unexpected behavior. $WD and I asked $Cyanide, a nice enough gentleman in the end, to bugger off and not come back in the kindest way we could. At this point, $WD and I check in with our telecom dev lead to see why this nice gentleman is starting his work. $B. Hey $dev, it's $B. We had a nice chat with $Cyanide. Why is he testing $proprietary tool right now? $dev, we told him to go ahead as it will speed up our deployment schedule. $B, but he's activating and deactivating features and routing that we are testing for the rest of the week. You know, the system that we send you tickets about when we encounter an issue? The system that you adjust parameters for as we test different scenarios? $dev, oh, I guess we'll ask him to hold off. $B, alright, no worries. Edit, hunting typos. Thank you. Next. I just helped a user with the following problem. I need to open some files in this program. There's his files, but when I navigate to the folder where they're in, I can't see them. I ask for the user to navigate to the folder where they're in, using Windows Explorer, so we can see the problem. Maybe the user mistook the file type and that's why it isn't showing. The user opens the folder where the files are, and all the files have their file extension without a dot before them. Windows only sees file. Turns out the user was renaming the files and erasing the dot. I explained the reason the dot exists there and we all went our separate ways. Thank you. Next. This happened around 1996. I was the field service tech for a cash register company. One of our biggest customers was a large corporate-owned chain of supermarkets. We didn't service the entire chain, just the 8 stores in our service area. I was on call for this one. About 3 AM my pager goes off. I call the service to see what's what. A drunk had driven into a power pole directly behind one of these markets and knocked out the transformer. The local power utility had done a fantastic job and got power back online with a temporary repair, but with the power on, only one of the store's 12 cash registers came back online. These dinosaurs had been installed originally back in the 70s. They had been upgraded over time, but they were old. We were the only ones still servicing them, and our parts supply consisted of old boards that had been repaired by us. There were no new old stock or any other kinds of replacements for these things. Now keep in mind this store was open. Corporate decided that if they had one working register and the lights were on, they were going to open. So I load up my truck with all of the spares I can find and head out. Out of 11 machines, I had to replace 10 power boards, several CPU boards, and more than one memory board. After 7 hours or so, being stopped every 5 minutes or so to answer the age-old question, well, why can't you open another register? I get them all up and running, but not a single one of them had its program intact. I needed to download it from the one working machine, explaining to the long line of shoppers that I would have to shut down the one working register for the 15 minutes or so it would take to record the program on audio cassette. Did I mention these things were old? Well, that did not go down well. It was like a chorus of why don't you just open another register? But shut down we did. 15 minutes later I had my tape. One by one, 15 minutes at a time, I loaded the program to the remaining registers. Still had to tweak the program a bit. Machine names and such. These machines were programmed in hexadecimal, so that was no easy task either. 12 hours later I have the store up and running. Here's the stupid part. In the back room they had 12 brand new point of sale terminals all programmed and running. They didn't even power off during the blackout because they were all on UPSs. They had been training back there. The only reason they hadn't been installed was because they were waiting for new pedestals to put them on and for a trench to be cut for the new networked wiring. The bill for this adventure was rubbing right up against 5 figures for parts and OT/DT labor, and corporate tried to cheap out and talk us down from the full amount. The best part was when they suggested that it would be good customer relations. We pointed out that they did not buy their new system from us and therefore they were no longer a customer. They eventually paid the full amount. Their new system went in a week later. I did the math and the repair bill would have just about covered the cost of the new hardware.